Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Evelio Matos, Adam Peake, and Corey Connors. Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going? It is Monday, July 1st. Happy 1st of July.
Evelio, your voice sounds like you were partying all weekend.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hello.
No,
I was at a No Effects concert last night. Wait, no, that was Corey Connors.
That was me.
Right.
It was
Does anybody know that Corey is like a punk rocker?
just you guys.
Does anybody know that Corey's really into punk rock? I think it's wonderful.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah. I'm a big
100%.
fan.
The opening, one of the opening bands was talking about back in the 90s when they would come to Portland to La Luna, which was my favorite concert venue of all time. And he said, if you came to those shows, I hope you brought your kids to this show. And I did. I brought my son. So it was so cool to get to show him what I used to do when I was young.
Yeah. It's like our parents taking us to like Frank Sinatra. I don't know.
Oh, I went. I saw the Beach Boys. I saw Three Dog Night. My parents took me to all the concerts. There was an actual concert in Denver. And Chris, maybe
Hey, Hugh.
Hi, Hugh. I remember in Denver they had a concert called
Sheena E. He loves Sheena E.
Sheena is a punk rocker.
Oh, I don't know that phrase.
Yeah.
But I used to go to the show called Cool Concert, and it was a whole bunch of just like oldies bands from 105.1.
Oh, that's cool.
My parents took me every summer. It was like this festival at Mile High Stadium. It was a lot of fun.
I love that.
Nice. We got an oldies tour coming to Phoenix. It's an oldies tour. It's gonna be oh man.
Oldies is like newies to me though. Like it's like, oh yeah, I remember now. Like the music we liked is oldies. Like,
Right.
No Effects is an oldie.
Yeah,
This is their
Two
final
Live
tour.
Crew
Yeah, it's
coming.
been 40 years. Yeah.
What's that, Evelio?
We got Two Live Crew coming.
Yep, it's pretty old.
Don't bring your kids to that.
Don't bring your kids.
I mean, you can. We're not going to judge, but we'll judge a little bit.
A little.
Yeah, it's like New Kids on the Block came to Utah I saw them with like Boys to Men, and I will tell you this, not in Utah. I saw them in Colorado. Boys to Men was still incredible because they're like actually talented and can sing. New Kids on the Block was atrocious. Don't waste your money, everybody. It's awful.
Wow.
It'd be like
It's
us
so-
in advance.
It's so
MKOTV.
bad. It's just a bunch of like 40 and 50-year-old women like swooning over Joey, but they're not talented. Like they can't dance anymore, and they certainly can't sing. I was like, this is terrible. Bring back Boys to Men. They were at least good.
Oh man.
Okay. Anyway, rant over.
All right.
Yes. Lots to cover today.
I'd go see PM Dawn.
Yeah,
But,
I could see PM Dawn. Yeah,
I could see that. That'd be good.
maybe Seal.
Yeah, he just has that one song. What you gonna do? Sing that like 50 times?
Yeah. Like what Kendrick Lamar. Did you see the Kendrick Lamar concert where he did Not Like Us 5 times in a row at the end of his show, and everybody lost their minds like how great it was?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, Bob.
Let's transition, Bob Hawkinson.
Well done, Bob.
Yeah. Thank you. Sometimes we need a producer.
Yeah.
Charlie has been fired.
Charlie so
We
long.
did. We screwed that up. We should have kept him. All right, packaging mistakes. So what we're talking about today is packaging mistakes. 1 being Disney, 2 being Costco.
Big deal.
Oh, Ryan, man, that I can feel that
Right
here.
here. Thank you, Ryan Fox.
Ryan and I are kindred spirits on Instagram, by the way. We're like LinkedIn packaging people, but on Instagram we have this like whole alter ego, and we've become Instagram fans or friends as well.
Basketball and music,
basketball, and obscure random religious things from our childhood. It's great.
Love it.
So,
Oh, hey, our logos are still up there. Let's go. Let's get into
we're
Disney
on world news
stuff.
today. All right, man. So this thing's crazy. All right, so it's crazy, but it happens. So that's the thing. This Mel's driving. This is an actual image from Universal Studios. Then I'm gonna get this loud commercial happening there. So this is the box that they just released. It's clothing for a doll. It's all obviously Disney, Pixar. And then the back of the box has the doll sitting in front of a Universal Studios thing instead of being in front of
Pizza Planet.
Right?
Sorry, that's my best
So
impression.
so much plastic.
Ton of plastic, not just in the packaging, but I'm sure in every single item in there.
True.
Yeah,
But,
including the clothing.
Yeah, exactly. But like this,
Is there? Do we think there's PP in the Pizza Planet, which is also PP shirt?
Oh,
There's
100%,
PP in the PP shirt.
100%.
Okay.
Full of it.
So the question is, have you guys ever, anybody that's watching, listening on here, have you guys ever made a packaging mistake like this, where it could have been caught, you could have done something, but it got past everybody's approval and it made it to market?
I think as everyone is typing in, I would like to share one, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So this was a while back, and we were running shrink sleeves for a customer, and it was kind of like they had a main shrink sleeve, and then they had other countries that all use kind of the same artwork or the same film. So they had changed the substrate from clear to like a white blockout on one of the countries that was kind of down here. But the spec was never updated on like for all of them. And so they placed an order for this one. We ran it on white film. It looked beautiful. Then they placed a huge order for, it was like $45,000. Yes, no regrets. It was like 45 grand worth of shrink sleeves. And they placed it, and the order came over, and it was the same artwork, and we printed them and on the clear shrink sleeves on the film, right? Because that's what
they ordered.
happened. And they were all sorts of mad because it was like, no, it was like, you should have known because we updated this over here that all the other ones were going to be updated. And I was like, yeah, but your order comes over with the same part number, with the same artwork. It's a rerun, right? And so I've used this again, like talking about the importance of like actually keeping your specs updated, because it was a huge mistake, and it was one that they had to own. You know what I mean? Like, we as the printers are not supposed to be making decisions like that, right? We're supposed to be making decisions that we're not supposed to be making any decisions. Honestly, it's like, we want to print the things that you sign off on. And so if we have a reorder, we're not going to be like, hey, I think maybe we can, but it's not part of the regular workflow.
Yeah.
Right. The regular workflow is an order comes in, it gets put into the system. It's the same artwork with the same material. You don't want to be making that decision just to unilaterally run it. Right.
Yeah. And you can't rely on tribal knowledge. Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
Hi, Kirk.
Hey, Kirk. Good morning.
What's up, Kirk?
And I want to talk to you again and see your face.
The amazing Kirk Visola.
Yeah, check him out. But
yeah,
huge fan.
Yeah, so his father-in-law launched, release packaging for 500,000 prints. I mean, these things cost money. These
Huge.
mistakes are costly. The Pizza Planet one, I don't know that anybody's going to notice. You're like,
they could probably just leave them, right? Yeah. They'll be collector's items. Sometimes I wonder if they do them on purpose.
I'm sure that's what the designer that did this. I did it on purpose. This is
that's what he said.
Product now.
Or she.
Yeah. I mean, it's on the back panel, right? So it's, to your point, it's probably like, remember when baseball cards would have errors? I don't know if anyone's like a baseball card collector.
What was it, the dude with the bat, or the bottom of it had like the FU?
Cal Ripken. Ripken Jr.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff, to your point, it could be like, they probably don't need to yank it from the shelf, but there are times where there are mistakes where they have to be pulled, and there's a product recall, and it's a whole, I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars that, that they make the mistake on, that gets missed by everybody. And I do think, I don't know, Avelio, do you still care about artificial intelligence, or have you moved on?
I'm in, yeah, sure.
Because I feel like there are some of these things that can be fixed by like AI software, especially
stop caring about it.
Is millennial misspelled? Like misspellings, or You know, especially like when you get into foreign languages,
Yeah,
those
that's
are
huge.
difficult. You know, you start printing something you know, Japanese, like a kanji, like character-based language. It's like I don't know. How are we
I
we
grew
have
up
to
in
proof
Japan.
this. So,
I'll have to
Yeah.
tell you my story about Japanese tattoo real quick. It's very funny. This guy walked into a Japanese tattoo studio and he asked for something cool, and then so he got a Japanese character on his arm, and then ran into my friend who's actually Japanese, and he said, "Oh, can you translate this? What does this mean?" And he said, "Air conditioning."
that's actually a
So
pretty sweet tattoo,
That's
though. I
pretty
mean,
good.
like, I wouldn't
that's
be like, "Oh, man, I gotta get this removed." I'd be like, "This is a
no,
great
he
story."
kept it. He thought it was awesome. It
I
was
love
something
that.
cool
It's
for
something
sure.
cool. Yeah. That's hilarious. Uh, yeah, man. So, all right. So if you're all right, so on the specification side, like, they could use something like SpecWrite to help kind of manage
Right.
that side of it. But then I also think the I don't know, we make these errors all the time. Not all the time,
Yeah.
but like as creatives, we make errors. As clients, we make errors. As manufacturers, there are errors that
Mhm.
happen. Um, a lot of times it comes down to time. If you can, take the time to actually review it instead of trying to pass it along. Like if you're the client side, sometimes proofs don't make it all the way back to the designer. Sometimes the proof
Right.
just goes to, like, the project manager, and
True.
they're not looking for all the details. Or it goes back to a copywriter to review the text, but not necessarily the art. You know, I've seen a lot of brands, at the bigger scale where they have an actual checklist. These are the 5 people that have to approve it. These are the 10
Mhm.
departments,
Yeah.
5 departments that look at it and approve it. It's slow. It drags
Mhm.
things down, and that's the problem,
Right.
which is why sometimes they avoid it and they just kind of go through. So my
Skip
question
it.
to you, Adam, is like, what did you? All right, so they ordered the wrong thing. You printed exactly what they ordered.
Yep.
Did you guys give them any kind of a discount on the rerun or anything like that? Like,
No, because, you know, at the end of the whole ordeal, it was
Mhm.
like there's nothing that there was nothing that we did wrong. So anytime there's an
Yeah,
error, I'm a huge believer in, like, okay, like, let's get into, like, where did the error occur? So there have been times, for example, where you know, artwork gets uploaded to the printer, and then, you know, maybe the printers make, like, we have to make changes, whether it's trapping or, you know, like die line, like we get into the file. Occasionally you'll get like a fully locked file from a big art
Mhm.
house,
yeah,
but we'll get a file and something will get changed, or something will happen that's incorrect on that file, and it will go back to the client. And it's great when you have, you know, these big departments of people, but sometimes it's the owner of the company who is going through and, you know, approving it.
yeah,
This wasn't
Mhm.
the case, but I'm just saying, like, so in that situation, if it gets printed and I find that, like, the error occurred when we sent the proof back, and yes, they approved it, but I'm like, it's kind
mhm,
of on us.
right,
Like, there's a bit of responsibility. There's a lot of responsibility that's on the printer in that situation. In this
Yeah.
case, there was nothing. There was zero. Like, the part number wasn't updated. You know, nothing was changed for
yeah.
us to notice, and the order didn't go through me. It went to a customer service person
Who
who
just
was just
ran it?
going through their day. They're processing hundreds of orders, right? And it's
Yeah,
like,
And
yeah,
how
sorry.
how could SpecWrite fix that? Let's talk about that. We
Well, I mean, I
mentioned
don't
it.
I don't wanna necessarily, like, I mean, but the simple answer is this, right? Like, if you have a parent-child relationship in your product specs and you wanna
Right.
change the material from, let's say you wanna lightweight your plastic, and this was in this case, but let's say you wanted to lightweight your plastic, and you have a whole bunch of SKUs that use the same style,
Mhm.
then and you wanna make sure that they're all updated, instead of having to go through and update each one, which is what a lot of companies, I think, have to do, and
Very
remember
true.
to do it. You can just update the one parent spec with the new material, and it will instantly go through and update everything else. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, I think that's one way of that I know for sure it would have helped with this particular situation.
Yeah.
It's actually the first time I found SpecRite, because I was trying to help them, because all
mhm,
their specs were actually manually updated, and I was like, "You guys need to find somebody
yeah, to
to help
Yep.
manage
you out
that.
with this." So
This'll fix it.
that was literally like the story that was the genesis of me just, like, searching out for companies that could help them.
I didn't
So
know that.
then-
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So then, all right. So the next mistake. I don't know if it's a mistake or not, but just real quick, Chris, 100% never give clients editable files because that's a great way to get bit in the butt.
But
Uh-huh.
there are plenty of situations as from a printer,
Yeah.
from a printing perspective, where we have to edit the files, or else your print is going to look like crap. Because not every designer understands, for example, how the file needs to be laid out for extended gamut printing with, or if there's a reverse out 4-color process and it's going to look like garbage. Like you're going to have, you have to trap the text or whatever. Not every single designer. I know that
that's why,
Avelio and
that's
Chris
why you don't
do.
give that file back to the customer that they can edit like the text or anything like that, because that's where you can run into issues. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
So then, all right, man. So next issue. And I know this is
Speaking of lightweighting plastics.
Speaking of $5 chicken.
I set us up though with the lightweighting plastics.
No, I'm sorry.
I was
You're right.
forward thinking and
I should have
how
left it. Well
what a transition, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
thanks,
transition. Yeah.
Thanks, Chris, for giving us the editable files. I appreciate you.
Yes. So
big story.
Look, they got this from Shutterstock. Right. So Costco changed their chicken packaging, right? Their $5, $4.99 chicken. The topic we won't touch on is how they just made their hot dogs $4. But this chicken went from their old packaging to this bag,
which was a rigid or I think it was a thermoformed like
PET,
lid and base.
Yeah. Black on the bottom, white, clear on the top.
Paper wrap with a handle on it.
Three pieces became one piece of packaging.
Yeah, 3-piece chicken. So then people are pissed. People are angry. They're ranting and raving all over the socials how they're never buying this chicken again, how they put this in their car because you don't get a bag at Costco. You get a box or you just walk out with the chicken and it's dripping juice everywhere, or it's like, it doesn't feel like a $4 chicken. Now it feels like a $3 chicken. So is this a packaging mistake? Is this a miss? Is this communication that's not happening? What's going on here? You can see here in the article, Costco's loyal customers are unhappy. They're burning down the Costco's. What do you think about this? Is this real or is this like just fake news?
Corey, I'll let you start because I have very serious opinions about Costco.
This is a sustainability issue, and I think maybe the issue here that Costco didn't do well was explain to the consumer why they did this, and work with the consumer to make a design that is similar to the old way. So they could have made this a different style bag to make it feel more similar to the old packaging. They could have done more test groups to test it and see, hey, would you be okay with this? But the truth here is that it's a massive reduction in plastic. I think they sold 137 million chickens last year, something like that. That's the last stat I saw. It's a massive amount of packaging. Imagine how many truckloads of thermoform trays that is, and how many millions of, I don't know, how many pounds of packaging they're reducing.
It's like 14 million pounds of plastic reduction or something.
Wow, that is incredible.
Insane.
Difference. So I think consumers, I don't know. I don't understand why they don't like it, to be honest with you. It doesn't make sense to me. Of course, the trays are easier to stack. Maybe that's the only thing I can think. But I don't know.
Jonathan Quinn heard plastic. He was like, "Are we talking about plastic?" Jay Quinn came in.
Yeah.
Did someone say plastic film?
The spidey sense kicked in. Yeah,
that's right. Where'd he go?
Yeah, I think Kirk's right.
There we go. Yeah,
loyal customers will get over it. I like what Kirk said there.
Yeah, I don't know. If I go to Kroger, this is what they sell it in. I think all like local grocery stores have kind of gotten rid of the big plastic bulky thing. I'm sure it's cheaper too.
Yep.
Yeah, massive reduction in costs for Costco, but
Yeah.
this is already a lost leader for them. They
Yeah.
lose money on this item,
Dude, if they really
allegedly.
want to be sustainable, maybe they don't sell 500,000 chickens a day. That doesn't sound like the most sustainable thing on
Yeah.
earth.
Yeah, I've been in a facility that processes these chickens for actually it was frozen chickens. It wasn't the rotisserie ones.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross.
Not as hot.
I'll just leave it at that. It's it's like you think about going from it was like 12,000 live chickens a day become frozen chickens in one day. There's a whole show, the IPPE show, the International Poultry Processing Expo is in Atlanta. I've been to it.
Oh man.
I was listening to some guy on the phone walk by me. He goes, "Yeah, I'm at the chicken plucking show." I was like, "This is perfect. Exactly where I am."
Well, hang
This
on,
is a great point by Ryan. I was gonna actually get to this point.
were you
Is
though? Were you really?
I was because of the cost savings on not only the EPR fees, but also you had the film, or I'm sorry, you had the paper, and then you had the lid, and you had the bottom.
Okay.
It's a massive cost
Well,
savings for them.
slow it down for us in the back. EPR fees on the molded plastic versus EPR fees on flexible film. What's the difference? Plastic's
It's a
plastic.
weight reduction. So you're paying based on the tonnage that you're using.
Mhm.
And that's how this is going to work moving forward. So any lightweighting effort will be a massive cost savings and potential fee avoidance for the producers and extended producer responsibility. So this is a huge, huge deal for Costco. They've got to make this thing work. They can't go back now.
No,
Although
there's
I've
no going
seen
back.
that, I've heard that they are potentially going back to the old style. I don't know.
Oh, I can't imagine.
I think it's a terrible idea. I would just also like to give Kirk Vaisola a ton of credit for using a bunch of words, but still keeping it family friendly.
Thank you, Kirk.
Well
Yeah.
done, Kirk. I know you had to exercise a lot of restraint there.
All right,
So
we got to start wrapping up here.
well, but let me just say one
Yeah, go
last
for
thing
it.
about this, because I think it's much ado about nothing with consumers. I think that probably one person had some chicken juice get in their car and they complained about it. I legitimately think this will have zero impact on the amount of chickens that they sell. I think it's just going to keep going up because you have inflation on food already, and if you can go get a $5 chicken, you're just going to go buy the $5 chicken. That's
Well said.
and the only way to help them keep their costs there is to reduce their costs on their packaging.
Mhm.
They have to do this. They have no other options, or they could just raise their prices like they did in their hot dogs and charge you $8 for a chicken, and then people are going to be way more pissed about that
Yeah,
than they are
and
about
people were super angry when they just raised their Costco hot dog price to $4.
Yep.
Did they
I
really? Is that really a thing? Or are
No,
you kidding? No, they didn't do that.
no, not at all.
Next, you're going to tell me Arizona iced tea is not 99 cents. This is ridiculous.
Oh man, the end of the world is
Dude, well,
coming.
it's not. It's not. It
Okay,
says 99 cents on the cans, but people are selling that stuff for like $3 at the gas station.
let's talk about Google.
All right, Google. Last thing, these guys did something awesome. They just released their plastic-free packaging design guide. Go to Google, look up plastic-free packaging design guide. I'll throw this link in there. I had the guys on the Packaging Unbox podcast. I'm going to talk to that'll post next week. But
Wait, did you have Miguel on?
yeah, I had Miguel.
He's amazing. He's my friend.
The whole team is crazy.
Yep.
But this guide walks you through everything that they've done, all the different materials. Look, PP, and their challenges.
It's still funny to me. I don't know when I'm going to grow out of this, but
never. But
10
this,
years.
it goes through the challenges, the new materials, why they made the decisions. So even on the rigid boxes, going from, rigid boxes are assembled by machines that fold up the board and then add a tape to the corners. So instead of going with a plastic tape that's more durable, they went with a paper tape. The amount of plastic that reduces is so minuscule But it's like every single thing that they did and every decision they went forward with in order to achieve this, not only that, they give you all of their suppliers' names, all of the exact materials that they used, um, and like crazy. Like nobody ever releases that kind of information. You know,
I met Miguel at Circularity, and he gave me this, and it's a board that explains the different reasons they went to the different packaging materials, and it's really impressive how they were able to eliminate plastic from their packaging.
yeah,
Almost totally.
it's crazy, man. I think if you're developing packaging, if you're a brand, if you're a manufacturer, you know, I think this is definitely something that you should download, take a look at, because it'll help you kind of think through your decisions. They go through like to molded fiber. They look at the different materials, different types of designs, like how changing a corner radius can impact user experience, help reduce scuffing. Like it's so detailed. I think this needs to be part of curriculum across all packaging design studies, whether it's graphics or engineering. It doesn't matter. I think you have to kind of get this into your brain and kind of go through it. And if you're starting to, you know, buy packaging, like these companies, they list their manufacturers of all of their boxes and bags and everything, um, their inserts and the materials and the names of the different processes, so that it makes it really easy for you to go and reach out to these companies and be like, hey, I want to do this, this, and this. What's it going to cost? Obviously, they're working with Google, which is super, super high volume. So it's not necessarily the right manufacturers for everyone, but at least it gets you started. So I think, you know, big, huge applause to these guys, because man, that's crazy. Like being able to share everything behind the scenes is not something you see often, if ever.
That
It's
was
really
my favorite part
commendable.
about it. That was my favorite part, was just the freedom of information. And they even kind of they tease it at the beginning of it, and they were like, this is who Google is. We want to give people access to the best information. That's And so for them to do that, I actually hope sets the standard
Yes.
for companies, not just the customers, but also the manufacturers, right? Like
Yeah.
there are so many manufacturers who hide what their product is, and they give it like a fake name so that they can hold on to that business.
Right.
And to me, I think, oh, hey, who's this?
I don't know.
That's weird. Great post.
Edilio.
Great post,
Edilio.
LinkedIn user. But you know, they'll make up a fake name, and they'll hide the product specs, and they'll give it something generic because they don't want anyone to know it. It's like, if you have a sustainable product that you have brought to market, it's okay. Like, you should be about the sustainability of the world, and you should be okay with with your competitors doing, you know, like making that same product. As long as if there's an IP on it, then cool, right? But like,
Yeah.
if you don't have an IP, stop hiding behind it.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah. The discussion we had was like, you have to share, because if we don't share, it's like, great, Google is this much more sustainable, but what does that do to the rest of the industry? It doesn't help anybody. So it's like you have to lift everyone up at the same time. Otherwise, you're not really going to make a big difference. You're just limiting yourself to your consumer, you know, to your impact on the industry, which isn't as much as if you bring everybody else up with you.
We'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Google. And the three of us will be retiring effective Friday from our
But
full-time jobs. And
Should we
Google,
explain what they do? What is Google.com? We need to tell the audience, right?
They're like
it's
the
like Ask
Google.
Jeeves. Do you remember? Do you know Ask Jeeves? It's like that, but better a little bit.
Oh, it's even better. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
You should see Ask Jeeves sustainability guide. Those guys.
Oh,
Yes.
Crushing.
I bet it's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was like, the early internet was pretty great, actually. There was so much stuff that was so bad, but we were so hungry for it.
Hey,
Yeah, we needed it.
you know, the very first user generated video platform before YouTube, like 4 years before YouTube, I launched this thing called See Me Skateboard, and it was, I was I used to skate back then, and my buddy and I launched a website called See Me Skateboard, and we would go shoot video at the skate parks, like through Huntington, Laguna, and everything, and like do street skating, and we started slapping stickers up all over the place. People would mail us videos like VHS or like Super 8s or
Wow.
of them skating, and my buddy Josh's cousin had a tape to digital equipment, and it would take like 48 hours to transfer from tape to actual like a digital video
Incredible.
for maybe like 40, 50 seconds worth of video. And then we would upload it. Crazy. But then we're like, nobody's going to do this. This is like this is not cost effective. So we didn't, so I think we lasted like 2 years and then we stopped. But
in case you're wondering,
is it still up?
You can show. I shared my screen. Boomer Avelio. There's Ask Jeeves. By the way, I googled Ask Jeeves. This is the sustainable packaging guide on Ask Jeeves. If anyone cares, it's simply whoever questions answered. This is why Google is better than Ask Jeeves. Sorry, Ask Jeeves people, but if you want to pay us millions of dollars, we will bow down to.
We'll change our story.
Oh man,
yeah. All right, man.
That's a great share. Thanks for. And for those of you who don't know, let's give a little bit of credit to the Mixmaster Mike Matos, Mixmaster Matos. Every weekend we get these stories, so he's the one who comes up with the content. Corey and I just show up as pretty faces. Well, at least Corey. But so thanks, Avelio, for always getting us some cool content, or else we'd just be making PP.
We appreciate you.
Oh yeah. Thanks for being nice to me after I get this from Corey.
I know. I needed you. Like, you're kind of brought down, and it was like we're talking. Like, we gotta lift you back up. I
like your shirt, by the way. Nice shirt.
Oh, thanks. Where could somebody get one of these shirts?
They got to reach out to me personally. Be like, hey, I want a shirt.
Okay.
But we're making stuff. We're making goofy stuff.
We are. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but packaging is serious. We're not.
That's right. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Do us a favor, if you're on the YouTubes, subscribe, leave a comment. Every time you guys leave a comment, we get paid, $50.
That's not true.
Wait, you guys are getting paid for this?
What?
Wait a second.
No wonder Avelio gives us all the content. We gotta have a conversation after this, because I
was not aware of this.
I'm paying to be on this show.
See you guys next week. If you guys have any good stories, anything happening in packaging, anything that you guys are doing that you want shared on here, let us know. We'd love to have you guys on as guests as well. Kirk, we'd love to have you on. Chris, we'd love to have you on. Bob, let us know.
You're talking about you. Not
if he sends me up some syrup, I'd be down.
That's right. No, we'd love to talk and kind of share who this community is and what you guys are doing. So let us know. Reach out. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today.